All right, a very good morning to you. Good to see you today, right here on Your World. My name is Winnie Lubembe, hoping that you've had a great time yesterday, resting during the holiday. And of course, it's so good to have you this morning with us right here on the show, even as we talk about something that is very, very important for all of us to be aware about. And this is as far as public participation is concerned, under the topic, your budget, your voice. All right, and I really, really like that because today it's all about influencing grassroots women, marginalized and youth voices in public finance management, because the public has a right to participate in the public finance matters of the Republic, including budget making as explicitly required in Article 221 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and through other fundamental provisions in the Constitution, such as those on people participation, that is Articles 10, Sub-Article 2, and as well as Article 201 and 221. All right, so specifically the Article 221 Sub-Article 5 mandates a committee of the National Assembly in discussing and reviewing the budget estimates to seek representations from the public and the recommendations which shall be taken into account when the committee makes its recommendations to the National Assembly. However, many people either do not know this provision or simply do not participate in this very important process. So the big question is, how do we get there? That is what we want to have a conversation today, and of course focusing on a very special group of people, and that is, like I said, we have grassroots women, we have marginalized youth, marginalized and youth voices as well, so that again we all participate in this very important, because majority of the times we usually hear about public participation, but sometimes we don't really focus on this theme. So that is what we'll be talking about on the conversation today. And of course, I am pleased to have very special women today from Grassroots, all right? And they're telling me Grassroots stands for Grassroots Organizations Operating Together in Sisterhood, okay? So it's a sisterhood happening this morning. And before you meet them, very quickly putting you up to speed with an ongoing campaign, and that is by Colgate. Where Kenya, what if we told you that your smile can help those next to you? Well, Colgate is helping to provide clean water, or clean drinking water rather, so that our children can have a bright future by staying in school. So for every pack of Colgate that you buy at your nearest Naivas store over the next 2 months, you are helping to build 30 water wells that will provide clean water for 120,000 people. Now that is something to smile about. So what you need to do is visit the Colgate Kenya Facebook page or visit the website on wellboring/colgate.com for more information. And remember, terms and conditions apply. And of course, let's meet our guests for the day. And of course, I am joined by Doris Munyingi, who is a programs officer, Grassroots Kenya. Good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
Having us.
You look really lovely. I like your There's just something happening today with your outfit, but it's so good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Karibu sana. And then of course, we also have Cecilia Murug, who's a Grassroots Kenya budget champion all the way from Laikipia. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
So good to have you as well. Karibu sana. And of course, last but not least, we have Hannah Muiruri, who is a Grassroots Kenya budget champion all the way from Muranga. Good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Watu wa Muranga wanasema
I'm
nini?
glad to be here.
Karibu sana.
Yes, Muranga, we are nice.
Yes.
We are working.
Yeah.
And with collaboration with our governor.
Yes.
Kangata Wabarua.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. All right. So like I said, Grassroots, right?
Yes.
This organization, again, has been here, was founded in 1995,
yes.
right?
Yes.
A whole sisterhood has been happening since 1995. So can we just quickly get to know more about Grassroots, what you stand for, and of course, what you do for women? Because I was talking to Cecilia and Hannah before we came on air, they were like, you know what? Empowerment, which we really like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So Grassroots Kenya. Grassroots, first of all, is an acronym of a word that is grassroots organizations operating together in sisterhood. And so Grassroots is a national movement of grassroots women and girls that was founded in 1995. And the main aim of Grassroots Kenya is to facilitate the development of grassroots women to be seen as change makers when it comes to development. And so we operate in a very unique model. I don't think we have seen this anywhere else before. And so we operate in a model that that we call the champions model, and that's why the two of them are champions. And this champions model is a model whereby we are enabling grassroots women leaders to be able to conceptualize solutions to their problems. So first they identify problems, they conceptualize the solutions, and then they go ahead and track changes during the implementation of the programs that we wish to implement. And so over the past 28 years, we have been operating in 5 thematic key areas.
All right.
And so the first one is on scaling up and sustaining the existing movement. So we are collectively organizing women groups. We currently have about 5,000 women groups in the 22 counties that we work in. And so these women groups, we are scaling up. You see, they're already existing. So we are sustaining these women groups, and we are continuing to scale up to more counties. Hopefully by the end of the year, we shall have expanded to about 40-something counties. Hopefully.
I like that. Yes. I really like
that.
Yes.
So we are also operating on a thematic area of women leadership and governance. And so what we are doing in that particular thematic area is that we are shifting the perceptions of the public when it comes to grassroots women leaders. We are reminding the public that, remember, these are people who actually have the competence. We are also pushing for the grassroots women leaders to be able to get into political positions. And so we have had a majority of our grassroots women get into positions such as MCAs, such as the MPs, such as the women reps. We are very proud of that. And so you'll find us also pushing for gender responsive public governance, because it's not only about having public governance in a space, it's also about it reflecting gender responsiveness. We are also doing a lot of work on economic empowerment and resilience. And so in this thematic area, you will find us doing a lot of advocacy for women to be able to have access, ownership, and control of productive assets such as land. Because you realize that in most of our communities, women are left behind when it comes to owning this kind of productive assets. So when it comes to land, finance, technology, we are pushing for them to own, control, and actually access these assets. You'll also find us doing a lot of work in terms of accessing markets, business development. We are fortunate enough to have our Grassroots Circle. And so I think the Grassroots Circle is a very interesting model, because it is a circle for the grassroots women. Us as staff are not even a part of it. And you realize that often when a grassroots woman goes to a bank and wants a loan, the first thing they'll be asked is a logbook. They'll be asked for a title deed. And unfortunately, most of the times, there are barriers that have hindered them from accessing this. And so we have a circle for them that does not need them to be able to ask this kind of things. And they're getting a lot of money. Some of them are millionaires. They're accessing loans about millions. This side, and this side, they're accessing millions of money from it. We're also doing a lot of work on climate resilience. You realize that it's the new global pandemic is actually climate change. And so you'll find us working in our ASAL areas of the country, Tana River and the likes. We are building their capacities to be able to adapt to climate change. We are reclaiming lands such as in Tana River. And I think it's interesting for us to watch areas where maybe when you enter a place like Tana 4 years ago, we would not have anyone who is probably farming from that particular area in our groups. But then you begin to see them having resilience, and they are planting, they are reclaiming over 400 acres of land in such areas. And then you'll also see us doing a lot of work on eliminating all forms of gender injustices. So these are issues to do with sexual gender-based violence. We are ensuring that women are finding alternative justice systems. They are already aware of the intended and the actual legal referral pathways. We have rescue centers in different parts of the country. We have over the years also developed a fund that we call Jasiri Fund in partnership with Mastercard Foundation that is going ahead to also build the resilience of our gender-based violence survivors. So you'll find us doing a lot of this work, and I think as they speak, you will be able to understand
more on the same. And I'm also curious to understand, and of course from this key thematic areas, why is it so important? Because it's true, you know, over the years we've seen women mostly affected. I mean, there's some men who are affected as well by so many things that are happening in the society. But women bear the biggest brunt, because if the man is affected, the woman is also affected in one way or the other. So of course my biggest curiosity, right, will be, why is it so important to us? So that also people would know. But before you answer that, let's speak to the champions, because we already have them you know, on set. And I'm going to begin with you, Cecilia, before we even talk about, you know, participation and why it is important, and of course we'll also hear from you as well. But let's just start with your journey towards Grassroots, right? Because again, like I said, before we came on air, you said, you know what, above everything else, empowerment. You have been empowered, which is a good thing to hear, right? So let's talk about your life before Grassroots, because you have been with Grassroots for over what, 10 years?
14 years.
Yes. Yeah.
14 years.
Okay. All right. So let's go all the way back. So how was life? And then after you joined Grassroots, what are some of the different, changes that has happened in your life?
Yes, I am Cecilia Mburugo from Laikipia County, Nanyuki Ward. I joined Grassroots Kenya in 2009.
Okay.
I used to work in a hotel as a cashier. I left work in 2008, but I was a church leader.
Okay.
So Grassroots Kenya entry point is through mapping. Wherever there is a program that is coming on board, there is always mapping and induction of champions. So I got into Grassroots Kenya during the Champions for Transformative Leadership program in 2009, where I was mapped as a church leader. And I got capacity build.
All right.
And through the capacity building, I was able to be elected. I was the programs officer, projects leader of that project.
Okay.
I was able through the capacity building, I became the returning officer, TNA returning officer in 2011
All right.
in Laikipia East. And through that, I have been able to be elected and nominated in different capacities in boards of schools. In the church, I sit in national school as the vice chair of the board.
Look at that. Yeah.
I am also the treasurer of the Catholic Action in the Archdiocese of Nyeri, in the Catholic Church. And so many, I am a leader in almost 10 women groups. And so through that, it's not only sitting in those leadership positions, it's about the contribution you're making in those positions that you're in. You're also able to empower the communities, your grassroots communities that you come from, to see that it's not only when you are in you're a farmer or you're a business person that you're able to contribute to what the communities need.
Absolutely.
So you are able to impact the communities that you're coming from.
Yeah, and even exercise your full potential, really.
Yes, yes.
Because majority of the time we tend to,
to
sit
shy
back
off.
and be like, yeah, watch out too. Let them take those positions.
Do whatever.
Watch out, So I really like, I really like the fact that you said, you know what, went through the program, and of course you were empowered in so many ways, and now you're sitting on boards and leading women groups and all those things, which is a really good thing to hear. And you mentioned something to do with mapping. We'll come back to you, Doris, to understand what is this whole mapping about. But let's get to hear your story, Hannah. When did you join Grassroots, and what has been like one of your biggest successes when it comes to?
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Hannah Muirure. I come from Murang'a County, Kiharu Sub-County, Township Ward, Mukoi location, and Kogoni Village.
Hey, okay.
I want to say there is a story behind me.
Yes.
There, since before I joined Grassroots Kenya, I was that woman in the village, in the grassroots rifle. That woman who could wake very early to prepare children to go to school, cook, start the house call, clean the house, clean the clothes, go down to the shamba to cut napier grass, and let me tell you, as I could go to cut napier grass, I could go to the shamba carrying manure. So I go with the manure to the shamba. Then as I come back, I come back with the napier grass.
Hey.
I was that
strong woman.
That woman. But now, Grassroots Kenya came to Murang'a County in the year 2015.
All right.
The entry point was public road mapping, and I was mapped.
Okay.
As we are saying, Grassroots Kenya works with women groups, existing groups, and they also organize new groups
as well.
So I was mapped as a member of one group, and from there, I can say, what I can say about Grassroots Kenya, Grassroots Kenya is the real bottom up.
Yeah.
It's the real bottom up. It has brought us from far.
Yeah.
Yes, I can say it has brought us from far. Even to express myself in front of 2-3 congregations. I was unable.
Now millions of people are actually watching.
Yeah, they're watching me.
Yes.
And that's why I'm glad to be here today.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, in the morning I said,
Yeah.
this is the day that the Lord has made.
Look at that.
Yes,
Look
and I
at
rejoice
that.
and be glad in
Yeah.
it. Everybody is watching over me.
Yeah.
I want to say the empowerment we are getting from Grassroots Kenya, it is great.
Okay.
The thematic areas Madam Doris is talking about, we are the beneficiaries.
Okay.
We have gone through the economic empowerment. In my county, we have been a REAP project where we were doing banana farming.
Okay.
And we have gone through a very great journey. The Grassroots Kenya has linked us with government officials,
Okay.
such that the extension officers, we can utilize them
Yes,
the way they are
and their
supposed.
knowledge.
Yeah,
Yes,
because they
yeah.
have come to know and to realize we are empowered and we know what is supposed to be done.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I like that.
Right
Yeah.
now, in Murang'a County, we have been in this now, the Money Power project, and I confidently say I'm a group champion and I'm a budget champion.
Look at that. Yeah.
Influencing the budget.
Okay.
Your budget, your voice. Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to say,
Yeah.
to this extent where I am, there before we couldn't even understand what budget is.
That's true.
Without
Or
that,
most of the time you'll be like, you're near
Yes.
Naume, you
We
handle
got-
that,
Yes.
right? As will just
Yes.
take care of the home.
we even thought it is the place of the Minister of the Finance.
Yes.
We never we never entered to these things.
Yeah.
But Grassroots Kenya and the Public Budget Academy has brought us this far. Today we know the whole process, what is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Right now, we know what is happening. There is the budget cycle.
Yeah.
There is the public finance management. All these, we are aware.
And
And,
that is
we have the
really good.
knowledge in our tips.
I mean, I can see that. I'm like, oh, okay, school me. Okay, continue.
We have
I
the
see
knowledge
that.
in our tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is why we are here today.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, honestly, to hear, and especially from women, because again, like I said, majority of the times, and especially from grassroots areas, you'd find a lot of women just taking, you know,
The back seat.
exactly,
Yes.
and you know, it's the man who's supposed to take care of the finances anyway in the home. So you do all those things.
Yeah.
Cabinet secretary for treasury, yeah, you handle
Yeah.
budget. You just tell us how much have you allocated for this,
Yes.
and then that's it. But then it's really beautiful to hear that you have that platform where you can actually say no, but I think if you put more money here, it would help women, it would help girls, it
Yes.
would help, you know, the entire community
Yeah.
to thrive, which is a good thing. Can we go back to mapping, because I was mapped, she was mapped,
Everyone was mapped.
everybody was mapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is mapping?
Yeah.
Grassroots Kenya, as I said, operates in a very unique model. We have specific values that we like to work with: transparency, accountability, women empowerment. And so when we introduce new programs or projects to a particular area, let's say, for example, we want to set out base in, let me give Wajir as an example.
All right.
And we are targeting, we have introduced a project that maybe is addressing the issues of climate change in that particular county. You realize that it's very easy for you to get the wrong target group. Because remember, as you're writing your project proposal, there is a problem that you wish to address. There is a target group that you wish to get to. Probably you're targeting, for us, we are targeting the lowest level of a woman in terms of grassroots level. Ule mama wa mashinani, who is at the lowest and the lowest. And in such places, you realize that it's easy to be corrupted. It's easy for someone to show up and say, I think I fit in the criteria,
Sell
because
you their
you know, when they
ideas,
hear anything that's coming
yeah.
from the CSO sector, they think, money, what. But remember, this is about creating a long-term impact. And so we go through a lengthy process of up to 3 months of mapping who we call, at that stage they may be called beneficiaries, but for us we call them champions. And what this mapping looks like is that we go and set base and camp in a county for almost a month.
All right.
And we will go to household surveys. We will come and interview you, interview your family, interview your relatives, and we make sure that you are
Everybody else
actually
is
fitting
involved.
the criteria to the core. So that we are not finding spaces where you have, you want to create transformative change, but you're getting to someone who's already empowered. Really, what will be your outcome at the end? And so that's our mapping process. We get to the communities, we will do household surveys, we will do key information interviews, we will do up to stakeholder interviews and focus group discussions to really be able to map out the correct person who is supposed to fit in the criteria of the overall objective of that particular program. And so that's how we were able to map them and 5,000 others. And that 5,000 multiplied by 20, because remember, these are women groups, you know. So so it's a lengthy process. And then now after that, it's not just at the mapping. After we map, then what? You know, there's collective power that comes in when you bring people to a group. And so we collectively organize them into groups based on various parameters. Are you people in an area that is around one area? Are you facing the same hardship? Are you looking for one particular, you know, thematic solution? So now after that, we collectively organize them into groups to be able to now push for collective action.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that you mentioned earlier on that women, or I mean communities, right? Different communities know their problems.
Yes.
They know what kind of solutions, you know, that should be employed to deal with their problems. And someone actually said, if there's anything that is so powerful, is the women group.
Yes.
Because this is a movement. We get things done.
Yes.
And that is a beautiful thing. So I'm going to go back to you, Cecilia. And of course, we're also talking about, you know, how important it is for public participation, and especially when it comes to women, when it comes to young people, you know, and especially in even, you know, marginalized areas. So Cecilia, I'm just going to ask, so why do you feel it's very important, you know, to have people, you know, and especially women from marginalized areas, you know, grassroots, you know, levels and youth and, you know, people to just honestly be actively participating, and especially when, I mean, budget in someone who just recently, right? Why is it important for people to participate in such important, you know, processes in the country?
Well, one thing we should have an understanding, what is public participation? Okay. Public participation is the process where the public concerns, needs, and values are incorporated in decision making. Okay. So it is incorporated needs, values, and concerns. Okay. So the community, and especially women, are always affected by all the issues surrounding finances and in the communities. So public participation is a legal framework. It's legally binding. It's
in the Constitution.
In the Constitution.
For people to be part of it, yes.
So the members of the public should be part. And why? Because where they live, it is said that it's only the community that can develop itself. Nobody can develop the community because the wearer of the shoe, the one who knows where to pinch us most.
Yes.
So the women at the grassroots level are the ones who have the healthcare issues, the water issues, the agriculture, markets. And so when they participate in the process of the budget, in the implementation, they will be able to hold the government accountable of all the undertakings of what is happening in the communities. Because it becomes very sad when you see a road be done, you do not know who is doing it, why it is being done, is it a priority in the area? The priority could be a hospital or a dispensary, but you're seeing roads, you see maybe the priority would have been water. But if you're not involved in the process, the PFM cycle, the budgeting process, from the start, you do not come at the CFSP part, the county fiscal strategy paper, all the budget estimates, and you're asking for something that you're not, you should have done, be part of.
Yes.
The community also needs to know the timelines. When do I ask for what, when, why?
Do I even ask?
Yes. Yeah. So it is a process that should be embraced by all.
Absolutely. I hear that.
Yes, and also it brings cohesion and ownership of the project that the government is doing. Because if you're not part of what is being done, you will not be accountable.
You know, majority of the times what we usually do, we sit back and say, you know, it's serikali. Right?
Yes.
Or you get to patia here, or you should have done this, or you should have done that. But then when they're calling out for public participation, us, we're just chilling in our homes.
And also the public participation, before it was seen as something for some people. for people who have no work to do, for politicians. People never used to go for public participation because they never saw the need of it. They have elected leaders, that's it. They will wait for 5 years to get back to them. They will come back to them and ask for votes. But how do you hold them accountable of all the projects, all the undertakings of the county at the grassroots level?
Yes. I hear you. I hear you. All right, we literally have like a minute to go on a break. Do you want to contribute? Add something to what Cecilia is saying as far as importance of participation?
Yes, I can add something because we have gone through this process together. Public, as she is saying, public participation was taken as if it was not ours. There were so many barriers that hindered public participation. One was lack of awareness. The community did not have that information.
That they have the power to actually...
They didn't know that they have the power to participate directly in public participation. But after now we were sensitized and trained on Budget Academy, we came to know public participation is our right. And today we say nothing for us without us. And we are always there. Later I can say we come out in large numbers as budget champions. We mobilize the community and we come and not only coming, we come and participate. We give our views and priorities, and we have seen our voice being heard because we have seen some of the things we have put in the CIDPs, in the public participations being implemented by the government.
All right, I like that. I like the fact that you're saying, listen, us when we come, we don't just show up at your when you go and you participate.
And
I like that. I really like that. You've also submitted memoranda. Okay. Hey, okay, how about you take a break? But of course, when we come back, we also want to learn that, but also get to understand more, you know, as far as the Budget Academy, which again, since we're talking about money today and participating in the budgeting processes and all those things, all right? So when we come back from the break, we'd want to understand more from the same. But again, if you are a Grassroots member who's watching us this morning, I want to hear from you, okay? Because these three women, this is a force, okay? So I also want to hear from you at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, is how you can reach us, or better yet, give us a call. Our lines are open, but of course, we'll be taking your calls after the break. Stay with us.
As a mother, I have to do my duties in the house. It forces me to send her to the river because I have no alternative.
Furahia maisha bora, linda jamii yako, linda biashara yako. Chukua bima leo. Tuna bima ya maisha, afya na ajali, mali hata elimu. Chukua bima leo. Linda jamii yako, linda biashara yako. Chukua bima leo. Tuna bima ya maisha, afya na ajali, mali hata elimu. Chukua bima leo.
Blueband peanut butter, made with 100% pure peanuts and a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with Blueband peanut butter. Available in 200 grams, 400 grams, and 800 grams. Buy a pack today.
Kwa miaka na mikaka, hedhi kwa mtoto wa kike ambaye anaishi katika mazingira tata imekuwa ni balaa na wala si tunu tena kwa msichana huyu. Ripoti zimejitokeza haswa katika mashirika mbalimbali kwamba Kenya na Afrika nzima kwa jumla, mtoto wa kike ambaye anaishi katika mitaa ya mabanda, inasemekana kwamba wasichana wengi wameuza miili zao angalau wapate hela za kununua sodo. Inasikitisha.
lakini hedhi kwa mwanamke siku zote ni tunu na haifai kuwa kizingiti. Hili swala lazima tuliweke parawanja. Ni swala ambalo lazima tulizungumzie bila haya.
What is it now?
You must leave everything exactly as the way it is now.
Fine. We will do as you say, officer.
I hope you can hear me the way I could hear you. Just so you can see what it feels like to inhabit the world of shadows. I don't really care if you understand. I just want you to suffer as much as I did.
Reject him, they are looking for you.
No!
Come on, do it fast!
I don't like you snapping your fingers at me, Rodrigo!
Diego. I'm Diego. Rodrigo is in a coma. Head over heels.
2 out of 3 Kenyan parents felt that they don't spend enough quality time with their kids. You can help change this by giving a generous voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.africa and make Storytime sweeter.
You are watching Your World in association with Colgate.
All right, welcome back. 36 minutes past the hour. And of course, today it's all about your budget, your voice, okay? And like I said, today, here we are pleased to have women, amazing women from Grassroots Kenya, who, again, like we said, Grassroots, this is grassroots organizations operating together in sisterhood. Let me tell you, okay? And we have really amazing women who are doing so much, out there as far as empowering each other and even the society as well. And especially when it comes to budgeting, okay? Because this is one of the things that majority of the times, as we just sit aside and watch the responsible people and institutions do their thing, and then we come back and we complain, all right? But they're saying, no, that is not what things or how things should be done. We all should be part and parcel of these important processes that affect, all of us. And of course, they're here to tell us how important that is, all right? But before we continue with the conversation, again, just to put you up to speed with an ongoing campaign, and when a child has to help their family fetch water, there is no such thing as a day off. So you can help us change that, and that is Colgate is asking all of you to help support the future of our children or our country and our children. So just like clean water, every little drop makes a difference. So for every pack of Colgate that you buy at your nearest Naivas store, you are helping to build 30 water wells that will provide clean water to 120,000 Kenyans. So you can make a larger impact and help us to reach more Kenyans by donating via M-Pesa. So visit the Colgate Kenya Facebook page or wellboring/colgate.com website for more information. And remember, terms and conditions apply, all right? And of course, like I said, today, very powerful women. Me, I'm just sitting here being inspired with these amazing women from Grassroots Kenya. And before we went on a break, of course, we were talking about how important it is, and especially when we're talking about participation. And again, don't get about pesa, okay? So the budgeting process, okay, today. And Hannah, we were talking about the fact that we submit memorandum, and you're like, listen, and petitions,
yes,
and all of those things. Do you want to just tell me a little bit about that before we talk about the Budget Academy?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to say, because of the knowledge that was instilled in us,
yeah,
we are able to know when things are not done well.
True.
When our demands are not well met. And this is the time we come in, and first we start with advocacy. Advocacy is a smart way of doing things.
Yeah.
We have come from the traditional way of complaining, the demonstration one.
Yeah.
In our counties today, you can't get people throwing stones.
Yeah.
Today we do something called advocacy,
right,
a smart way of inquiring for our needs, and we already know where to go. We know the offices to visit when we want to advocate for what.
Yeah.
If it is a road, it is a feeder road, we know we will go to the office of the MCA. If it is water, we know where to go. So we use this platform, we advocate. Then after we do advocacy and still our demands are not met, there we are.
Yeah.
We come in and we write petitions.
Okay.
Like now, right now, I can confidently say in Murang'a County Assembly, they are pending petitions from the champions.
All right.
Yes. We have already submitted a memorandum concerning a hospital that was made a level 4 hospital, but the facilities are not the level 4 facilities.
Okay.
So we have raised this issue in the public participation, and I would like to thank our county government because we are working closely together, because the network and the linkage between the grassroots community and the government officials have come closer.
Yeah.
We work together with them, and they have responded to many of our issues. But now, when we see the demand is not met, we have to write the memorandum, we have to write the petition.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
And creating that collaborative, sort of like a relationship.
Yes.
Because majority of the times, they're usually the enemy. Yes.
Yes.
And we don't want that. We
Yes.
want that, collaboration so that, again, you get things
And
done.
in a smart way.
In a smart
We don't
way.
fight. We don't
Yes.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't want people fighting.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. So, Cecilia, just taking us through, the Grassroots Public Budget Academy, right?
Yes.
And of course, this also helps to empower grassroots women and communities, right? So, do you want to just take us through what that is all about? And of course, we'll also come back to you to understand more on the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Public Budget Academy was an initiative of Grassroots Kenya to bring together champions. And just to clarify this, champions are not only women.
Okay.
We have a model of men for women champions.
Oh, like that.
Men who believe that who believe in women leadership. So we have that model. So they were brought together in an intense training of 2 weeks, some 3 weeks. They were trained by the county government officials. An intense process of what is budget, the budget process, the PFM cycle, where it starts, where public participation is key, where the communities need to come out and give their views. The whole cycle about the civic education, the public participation, where it is entailed in the constitution, where areas of public participation, forms of public participation, like what Anna is saying about memorandums, public hearings, because there was a gap, especially in public participation, because it does not specifically say that people have to come out in numbers to do public participation. They can sit as we are sitting here, and we sign and give our views, and that is public participation. But our views may be not the views of the whole community. So we were taken through that intense training, and we came out. We were trained about in Laikipia and Murang'a, because the project was in the 2 counties. We were taken around 199 champions, and we were tasked to go and sensitize each, not less than 100 members of the community, in churches, in schools, in chiefs' barazas, one-on-one campaigns.
We have effective public participation. And so this is why Grassroots Kenya began this particular model that we call the Grassroots Budget Academy. The essence was to bridge the knowledge gap in the grassroots women, youth, and marginalized communities when it comes to issues of fiscal policy. Why fiscal policy? Because every time when a road is being constructed in a particular area, you may come to my community and want to give me a road, but in real sense, what is affecting me the most is food. And so I don't need your road. You find a way in which you'll give me seedlings that I can plant on my farm, and I can have food
and
security out of it. And don't exactly. And so we asked ourselves as an organization, really, how do we cap this knowledge gap? And that's what led to the birth of the Grassroots Budget Academy. And so what is this? As she said, it is a 2-week program that is done, one by the county government officials, because remember we work at the county levels, of course, due to the gift that is devolution. And so we liaise with the departments of finance and economic planning within the counties to facilitate these trainings themselves so that our budget champions can have direct linkages with these particular officers. Remember, if I sit with you for 2 weeks, by the time we're done with these 2 weeks, I'm your friend. I can call you up and tell you, I heard that we're having a public participation on this day. Can you confirm that this is the particular venue? So it was also to give the grassroots communities agency. And so what these academies would look like is that, one, they would be trained on the PFM cycle. You realize that the public finance management cycle starts on 1st of July, ends on 30th of June. And each particular month has a specific document. And what happens is, if you come in, for example, in September, when counties are having the annual development plans, this is when the county is planning for all the projects and the priorities that they will have in September. If you come in February, where they are setting the ceilings for each particular sector, you start complaining about a dam and you start complaining about a hospital, you already lost. And so that is the knowledge gap that we were trying to bridge, so that they know at what point do I come and bring my priorities, at what point do I come and set the ceilings for my sector, at what point do I allocate support allocation of resources for that particular project. And so this knowledge gap was what was being filled, and we are happy to kind of see all these things. We also train them in public participation, whereby you are reminding them that remember, unfortunately, the Constitution of Kenya has not given us a direct clause that says public participation is just public hearing. There is submission of memorandums. There is executive committees. The 4 of us can be called by the government and asked, what do you think we should do to this particular county? And that is a public participation. And I think that's a gap even in our Constitution, because we need to define what exactly is a good and effective public participation. And so I'm happy to report that even beyond this, we get to see them stop. You know, when we say nobody can stop reggae, that's not true, because during the political season, when we were having campaigns, these women stopped. You know, they actually stopped reggae, and this was because it was in February, and in February we have a document that is called the County Fiscal Strategy Paper, where we are setting ceilings. And so if we are coming for public participation, I expect the government officer to give me a paper that says, in health sector, this is the maximum we will have for recurrent expenditure. This is the maximum we'll have for development. But unfortunately, remember, it was a campaign season. Everyone came in and started asking, what do you think I did for the county? And this women stopped the meeting and said, excuse me, this is the wrong platform for you to ask us. Can you give us the correct document? And that is the kind of capacity building that came from the Budget Academy. So the essence is to be able to have them as change makers when it comes to issues of the fiscal policy at the county level.
And I mean, it's important because the majority of the times we tend to, again, like I said earlier on, we complain and we say, oh, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, we should have had this instead of this. But then again, when we're called upon to participate, we don't show up, right? And that should not be happening. All right. And like we said, it's important for everybody to be part and parcel of these important processes that are happening, you know, in our country, including budget, right? But Hannah, specifically for women, why is it important for women to be active and actively championing, you know, for these processes to happen in a way that will fit or solve problems in a particular community? Why is it important, or what influence would women have if we all join together and say, listen, yes, it's good nataka kutujengea barabara, lakini how about we start with hospitals first of all, or have people have food on the table? Why is it so important for women?
Okay, I would like to say it is important for women simply because they are the most faced with these difficulties when things are not done well. When we lack medicine in hospitals, women are in the first line to suffer, because every day you see women taking children to hospital. You see women taking other women for delivery. You even when a man is sick, you will see a woman taking him to hospital. So I want to say women are the most suffering when things are not done well. In case the school has a long distance, kilometers before you reach to a school, a woman is the one who will suffer, taking the nursery school kid to school. In fact, a woman takes a kid to school from the day of admission to about 3 years.
No, that's true. Yes.
So the women will suffer. That is why we are insisting and empowering women to take part in these processes, because when we attend public participation, one, we go there to push gender sensitive issues about sector health, agriculture, education, and gender issues. We are there and we are in for it. And I can say from the work we have been doing, we have seen a great change. If I can talk of the CFSP, Murang'a CFSP, from 2020, 2021, when the budget academy started, to 2022, it has increased in allocation on gender-sensitive issues.
Oh, wow.
What does does this show? It shows the county government are, we are collaborating together with them. We are working together. And also, we have become influencers of the budget. Yes. One, I had talked of the barriers of public participation. We have already seen budget champions influencing the county government by, they were not advertising the public participation in the right way, in the correct way. They were, when you ask them, they were saying it is in the Kenya Gazette. How many grassroots women do you expect to read a Gazette? Yes, today they are doing it in churches. They are doing it in form of posters. And again, after Budget Academy, we as grassroots women and the government officials, we opened WhatsApp groups. Today we chat with them. Yes, we chat.
Like, hey,
we chat with them.
Can we have these?
And during the chat, they inform us of the upcoming public participations. Yeah, that's how we are working.
Absolutely.
And again, I would like to say, women are the highest and most mobilizers in the community.
Oh, yes.
And that is why you see, even during the political time, politicians come searching for women. Why? You will get a woman is in 5 women groups in the village.
That's true.
Yeah. So when I attend,
she helps
when I attend that women group, I will go and start the sensitization. So now about the budget, after we were taught in the Budget Academy, the key thing in Grassroots Kenya, it is when you get empowered, you empower the others. So when we go to the women groups, we start sensitizing. Today, I can say in Murang'a, we have 99 budget champions, but the gospel is with the many thousands and thousands. Simply because we preach in the women groups, we also attend the chief's barazas, and we take time and ask for at least a year time. We give our, we sensitize the people. We also organize whatever dialogues, where we invite the stakeholders, the policy makers, even the chiefs. You will see Hannah knocking to the county commissioner's office, inviting him for a meeting. Yes, and they come because we have come together. The networking is so good. The budget academy linked us together. We are friends. By the way, it is just a few days when the county government were training on ENM. Evaluation and monitoring and evaluation. I was part of it. Yes, I can confidently say the CIDP, the STAMS CIDP, during the formation of that CIDP, budget champions were incorporated. We were there, so we know what we went there with a motive to put our priorities there.
I really like
and it
that.
Is working.
I really like that. I mean, you two are already champions, all right? So you are success stories, which is a good thing to see. But I'm also curious to understand based from what you have gained, you have learned, and of course you have also, you know, championed towards empowering other people. I'm curious to understand like the successes of, you know, what you have been able to do. I know we've talked about memoranda, we've talked about petition, we've talked about you're actively participating and saying this and this and this is how things should be done. But aside from that, what are some of the, you know, looking back and say, you know what, actually this is as a result of us doing this and this and this.
We have so many success stories. One of them, public participation, especially at the county level. It was not, it's a devolved function. The public, all the functions are, some of the functions are devolved. And so public participation used to happen at county level. But through the Budget Academy processes and sensitization, as Hannah has said, it has been devolved up to the village level. I'll quote Laikipia County. In the CIDP process, there were 202 public forums during the CIDP formation, in attendance of 25,000 members of the public. And through that, the members of the public at the village level were elected. in an initiative that we call MDC, Mashinani Development Committees, representing health, water, infrastructure, education, and most of our champions, we are analyzing them the other day, that were elected in those positions. Why? Because they were able to articulate their issues of development at the village level. So that is a success. After the Budget Academy and through the public participations, most of the grassroots communities and members and champions are not elite. But they know what, even some cannot even be able to kutamuka in a public participation. But they are able to articulate their issues and get those positions of leadership. I'll give an example of a lady in Laikipia North, Mary Musing. She was elected in a community-led management committee, a very sensitive committee, and a very powerful committee, of course. Why? Because she's able to articulate what she'll be doing in that committee, to see that resources are being used well, the communities are accessing what they need to access. So, and so many other success stories that people, women have been able to access. And also something else, the partnership with the county government. The inception, as she has said, of the CIDP. The MDC, the Mashinani Development Committees are there. The spatial plans in the county. The involvement of all the stakeholders with the county government and the Mashinani, the communities, is also a success story. And when they go for those public participations, the bringing in of the right documents, the community speaking from a point of information, because hauendi kurada with the information, you're going straight to what you need. It's successful. Really we are able to not just sensitize the communities where we come from. We've been even able to extend. I have told you it was in 2 counties, Laikipia and Murang'a. But we have sister counties, Nakuru, Nyandarua, Nairobi, who have champions who are also able to articulate their issues in the PFM cycle regarding money, public participation. They are all aware. Tana River, so many counties, but there's still a gap. How can we do it in the 47 counties of the country so that we're able to work together, have trust, the government have trust on us, we have trust on the government and that each days that are taken, so that we are able to move and forward with the development. And see these developments that we really need to see. Because after every 5 years, we're like, so what did you do exactly? Right? Why should we bring you back to the office and all those things? But also our responsibility to make sure that that happens. I can see our time is far much, but literally have like 1.5 minutes to finish the conversation. But I just want to hear from you, Doris, because like you said, started with 2 counties. Now you are in 20.
No, the Budget Academy started in 2. We are expanding to the 22 that we already in operational.
Okay, all right.
So Grassroots Kenya itself is in the 22 counties, but hopefully by the end of the year, we will be knocking on almost all 47.
Because that is what I was gonna ask. So 47 tunafikiwa lini? Because everybody, I mean, listening from you, it's like, listen, we all want to be mapped.
Yes, we want to be a budget champion. Don't worry, I'll enroll you on the next academy.
We want to be mapped, all of us. Okay. Yes. All right. But as we bring this to a close, I think let me start with Hannah, come to Celia, and then I'll come back and finish with you, so that we all again wrap up the conversation. Having gone through what you've gone through, having learned, all those things, what is it that you tell that woman who's watching you this morning and thinking, hey, okay, maybe nataka kukuwa mapped, but above and beyond, I just want to be fully empowered, and especially when it comes to finances, right? Taking part in budget processing process. Or just in general, being actively participating in different roles, really, as far as my community is concerned. What is that one thing in literally 5 seconds?
Okay, thank you. I would like to talk very briefly and say, because of the impact we have seen in public participation, and we have so many success stories. Feeder roads have been made in the community, hospitals has been made through the budget champions intervening. There is a milk kura that was installed because of public participation and advocacy by the budget champions. And I know they are many women are watching us this morning, and they are wishing they can be Grassroots Kenya champions. One day, the time is coming, the day is coming. When we get empowered, we empower others.
Oh, absolutely.
So we continue expanding and sustaining our movement. And to sustain our movement, it's to continue mapping more and more. I cannot write to talk to our county government.
One
second. To thank the county government for the collaboration, and also to request they should involve budget champions in their boards. For example, the CBF boards, because we are equal to the task.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I hear that. I like that. Okay, a time is coming when all of you will be mapped. Okay. 1 second. What is it that you want to tell that woman who's watching you this morning?
Yes. Development is not a reserve of some people. We should include everybody. Development is about money, fiscal. So I tell that woman outside there, this is the time. It's not yesterday, it's not in the morning, it is now. Mapping, we have already mapped you. Wherever you are, we have mapped you. We only need to induct you into the movement. Come out and say what that one thing that you need to say in your locality, in your county, in your ward, that will impact positively to the whole community.
Absolutely. Love that. All right. And Doris, as we bring this to a close, speaking to those women, but also, you know, on the importance of that collaboration really between the county government, the national government as well, and the community, so that we see these developments that we really, really want in our country.
Thank you. I think one of the things that we need to keep singing and we need to leverage on is the power and the capacity of grassroots women and girls to be agents of change in their own development. And so I think every person at whatever level, be you grassroots, be you the highest level of stakeholder, you need to realize that there is extreme potential of grassroots women and girls to actually change any development that you wish to see in any level of community. You need to leverage on the capacity, existing capacity, even as we build their capacity of grassroots women and girls. And so allow me to thank in general the county government of Laikipia and Muranga who have made this program a success. And also thank you for having us this morning.
And thank you for coming.
Really
I mean, listen, you see what happens when you empower women? This happens. All right, so thank you. Thank you so much. Doris Munyingi, Programs Officer from Grassroots Kenya, Cecilia Murugu, who's a Grassroots Kenya budget champion from Laikipia, and of course, Hannah Mwiruri, who's a Grassroots Kenya budget champion from Muranga. Asanteni sana for coming by this morning. Pelekeni salamu zetu. Yes, Laikipia and Muranga. Right? But all the same, thank you so much for staying with us until the end of the show. I know you have learned a lot from this powerful women right here. So now the ball is in your court. Take that active role and be actually in participating in whatever process that is important to you, that will bring change to your community. But until then, stay safe, God bless, and have yourselves a lovely day ahead. Goodbye.